New York can't get work for asylum seekers fast enough.
For the employers to help solve their crisis in the shortage of workers and solve the crisis of having to take care of people because they can't take care of themselves until they get a job.
How Governor Hochul's plan to avoid federal red tape has fallen apart.
Plus, make sure your Thanksgiving meal doesn't go up in flames. Whether you're deep frying your turkey or expect to have a busy kitchen, fire experts want you to know the risks.
CBS 6 News starts now.
Good evening. First tonight at 5 o'clock, Fulton County workers are begging the Board of Supervisors to help them protect the public.
For months, workers have been warning they're in a staffing crisis, threatening services within several different departments, including Child Services and the Highway Department. CBS 6's Ashley Kusakonki is live for us in Johnstown. And Ashley, there was a big reaction today.
6 News.
Ashley, thank you. Governor Kathy Hochul today with an emergency response to a rise in hate crimes and harassment incidents.
Yeah, meeting with law enforcement for a roundtable this morning. The governor says she wants agencies to be prepared ahead of the busy travel season.
But it's more about, so much more than about just travel disruptions. It's painful to me as the governor of this great state that has been known for its diversity and how we celebrate different cultures, different religions, different viewpoints. It's painful to see the cruelty with which New Yorkers are treating each other everywhere from college campuses to our streets, to schools, to playgrounds, even as they're entering their houses of worship.
Well, tomorrow in our nation's capital, tens of thousands are expected to attend a march for Israel and to call for the release of the hostages still being held by Hamas and to stand firmly against anti-Semitism.
It comes as anti-Semitic incidents in this country and around the world are skyrocketing, with more Jewish people fearing for their safety. Here's national correspondent Christine Frizzell.
Emily Hand.
All right, let's talk weather for you right now. We take a look outside of the city of Glens Falls. There's a little bit of snow on the ground in places there. It's hard to see in the dark, but I'm told that when it was light out, you could see a little bit of snow on the grass.
Exciting times.
I guess.
All right,
One way to put it.
Let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist Steve LaPointe for a check of our forecast. Steve.
Definitely exciting times for some, that's for sure. We're not done either. I think we'll see.
Albany police identifying a man shot and killed over the weekend. That man is 32-year-old Elijah Thompson. Officers found him shot in the chest early Saturday morning on Judson Street between 1st and 2nd Streets. He died at Albany Medical Center. So far, no arrests have been made in the case, but if you know anything, contact police. Amtrak service on the Adirondack line between New York City and Albany suspended through at least the rest of the day, maybe even longer because of unforeseen track closures. That's due to a privately owned parking garage in Midtown Manhattan above the tracks that's blocked off for structure concerns. Amtrak customers can get the latest train status information by visiting Amtrak's website. Well, it's a warning we hear every year around this time. Cooking for the holidays can be dangerous.
It's an important one, but seeing is really believing, and you'll just have to stick around to see how bad it can actually be.
And from summer destination to winter wonderland, how Lake George is transforming this year and hoping to keep folks coming back for more. 2 new attractions are making their way to Lake George for families to enjoy this winter and holiday season. We spoke with those involved with bringing the winter scenes to life about how they're taking old-time traditions and adding a new fun twist. Lake George, typically known as a popular summer resort town, now pulling out all the stops in hopes of claiming a new title of Winter Wonderland.
Our tallest one is going to be 60 foot. It'll have over 10,000 lights. All in all, we'll have over 100 trees out there. It's just going to be there's going to be a lot to do, and it's going to be something that they've really never seen anywhere else.
2 new winter attractions are coming to the area. Winter Realms, opening at Festival Commons on Black Friday, will feature ice skating, Christmas lights, igloos, a polar ice bar, fire pits, a Santa candy cane court, and much more. What you hope people and families will be able to take away from this experience?
It's a getaway. You know, it's just an escape from the real world while they're in here with lights and music, and, you know, we're going to appeal to all 5 senses. We really are, and that's the hope, for however long they're here, we just want them to feel like they're in another world.
The new concept is also less focused on icy cold weather to operate as in years past, meaning the experience will stay open later into the year.
Pretty much everything that we've done so that we don't have to worry about being weather dependent. No shutdowns, no closures, longer season.
Winter's Dream will take form in the courtyard of the Fort William Henry Historical Fortress when it opens December 8th.
As you can tell, I'm very excited about this. I'm like a kid at Christmas because we finally have the attraction that so many of us have talked about in Warren County, and it's such a wonderful attraction, both attractions.
The ADA-compliant immersive experience will feature a light and sound show, original music, projections, interactive moments for the audience, and more.
People want to be active in the winter. Sometimes it's limited if you're not sports oriented like such as skiing. This gives everybody an opportunity.
Both attractions have been in the works for more than a year. Everyone involved hopeful it results in more year-round foot traffic for Lake George and area businesses.
This will help a lot of businesses. For us personally, we'll be able to maintain a year-round staff and not put people on unemployment or what they call shared work. We are in a very magical area. It is absolutely beautiful 365 days a year. That winter time period was slow enough. Some of the businesses closed down. And Lake George should be a year-round destination. It's that special up here.
Both attractions are set to remain open through March of 2024. Tickets are now on sale. For more information, visit CBS6Albany.com.
And Monday, temperatures back down into the 40s.
All right, good deal. It was cold this morning, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yikes. Yep. All right, coming up in sports, we're recapping some big NFL games for New York teams that took place over the weekend as the Giants suffer yet another tough loss.
We break down just what went wrong for the G-men and the Jets, who fell short in a close matchup versus the Raiders.
And now, CBS 6 Sports, sponsored by your local upstate Chevy dealers.
The Giants and Jets both taking big losses in their Sunday matchups over the weekend. The Jets fell shy of victory to the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Yeah, this one came down to the wire with just over a minute left in the game. The Jets down by 4, looking for a game-winning drive. The Jets quarterback Zach Wilson intercepted by Robert Spillane. But they did have all their timeouts remaining, and they get the ball back with just a few seconds left. Zach Wilson's Hail Mary attempt coming up right here. Unsuccessful. The Raiders win 16-12. The Jets fall back to third place in the AFC East.
And the Giants, in a late afternoon game against the Dallas Cowboys, were absolutely dominated. The Cowboys putting up over 600 yards of offense against the struggling G-men. By the time the game hit halftime, the Cowboys were up 28-0, went on to win in blowout fashion 49-17. The Buffalo Bills set to host the Denver Broncos tonight for Monday Night Football. Quarterback Josh Allen says playing well in November is critical to the team's season. That game kicks off tonight at 8:15. Right now, Buffalo is in second place in the AFC East, just trailing the Miami Dolphins. Well, still to come, it seems that you would expect automatic crash prevention systems to work as intended most of the time.
Seems like a fair expectation. They might not even work, though, when they're needed the most. The reasoning may surprise you. Stay tuned for that.
News starts now.
First at 5:30, your top stories and your weather headlines. Here's what you need to know.
Thousands expected to attend a march for Israel tomorrow in our nation's capital, calling for the release of hostages still being held by Hamas and to stand firmly against anti-Semitism.
Governor Kathy Hochul says New York is no longer considering state-issued work permits for asylum seekers because there's no guarantee employers would be protected from federal prosecution.
Structure issues at a Midtown Manhattan parking garage leading to the suspension of Amtrak services north of the city, meaning trips in and out of Albany are canceled for the time being. In-depth coverage on all of these stories online. Just head to CBS6Albany.com.
Schenectady's 2024 budget almost 2 weeks past due now, but the hope is the City Council will come to an agreement and approve it at tonight's City Council meeting.
This is the first time in about 30 years that the city's budget has been late. CBS 6 has been following the sticking points and negotiations. Jackie Slater joins us now live from Schenectady City Hall tonight with a look at what progress, if any, has been made in the past 2 weeks. Jackie. Senator Tim Scott suspending his presidential campaign.
I think the voters who are the most remarkable people on the planet have been really clear that they're telling me, not now, Tim. I don't think they're saying, Trey, no, but I do think they're saying not now.
The South Carolina Republican making that announcement Sunday night. Scott says he will not back another Republican candidate, but encourages voters to study each candidate. Senator Scott also says he has no intention of accepting a vice presidential nomination. Well, rising crime and a higher cost of living could be deciding factors in who will be America's next president, with many Black and Latino voters already speaking out, possibly shaking up the predictions about who will win in 2024. Chief Political Correspondent Scott Thuman breaking down those numbers. With the annual switch back to standard time, many moods are also changing. Experts call it seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. And as medical reporter Barbara Morse explains, it doesn't matter where you live.
Think of it as a mild to...
I'm medical reporter Barbara Morse. Still to come, automatic crash prevention methods that don't always do the job.
Spotlight investigates why that's actually part of the design as they make their way into more vehicles.
And the holiday travel season is just about here, and we've got your travel projections ahead of Thanksgiving week. Automakers are rushing to add futuristic features to cars at a pace so fast that safety regulators just can't keep up. Among them, automatic emergency braking systems, or AEBs, touted as a stopgap measure to prevent a crash.
So this spring, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration took a first step at requiring AEBs in all cars. But as Lisa Fletcher reports, they won't be required to work in all situations, including those when they're needed most.
What you're about to see is a crash.
Largely dry after that for the rest of the weekend.
All right, thank you, sir. Coming up all new at 6 tonight here on CBS 6. A terrifyingly dangerous substance, a horse tranquilizer, often known as Tranq.
And it's showing up on Capital Region streets. New at 6, CBS 6 speaks with the woman who survived drugs laced with it and walks you through why it's so dangerous. The U.S. Supreme Court is officially adopting its first ever code of ethics. This as the bench faces criticism over undisclosed luxury trips and gifts from wealthy benefactors, signaling potential conflicts of interest. The justices say the code, quote, largely represents a codification of principles that we have long regarded as governing our conduct. Details of the code are unclear. A Senate panel recently passed an ethics code that was struck down by Republicans, but has delayed votes on whether to subpoena key benefactors over their roles in organizing and paying for justices' luxury travel. Well, whether you're hitting the road or flying this Thanksgiving holiday, you'll have plenty of company.
I think that's for sure. AAA expects 55.4 million Americans to travel 50 miles or more for Turkey Day. That's up 2.3% from last year and the third highest number since 2000. 49.1 million are expecting to travel by car. They'll pay about 50 cents less for a gallon of gasoline than they did last year. 4.7 million people are flying, an increase of more than 6% over 2022.
What AAA is seeing is that people are continuing to travel post-pandemic, and each year the numbers are getting bigger and bigger. We haven't seen any pullback since 2020.
If you're driving, the worst times to hit the road, they say, are Wednesday between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. when holiday traffic combines with the workday commute.
Still to come tonight, make sure your Thanksgiving meal doesn't go up in flames.
Yeah, whether you're deep frying your turkey or expect to have a busy kitchen, fire experts want you to know the risk. You're gonna, ooh, that's not good. It gets worse. We'll have more coming up.